Good morning, everyone. We're just waiting a few minutes whilst a few more guests join us this morning.
Oh, there's Nathan.
Morning.
Hi, Lynn.
Morning.
Sure, you can unmute everybody for the moment. Say hello. Hi, Helen.
Feel free, everyone, if you
Hi.
want to put your video screens on, and you can unmute yourselves for the moment. We're just waiting, obviously, for a few more people to dial in and join us this morning.
Just going to put my blind down.
Yes. Oh, here we go, Zena. Oh, is she coming in? There she
Hello,
is.
Sue. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Mike. Yep.
I don't know why you can't see me. There's absolutely no.
Right, you can go to the.
Okay, well, I'll
if you go to
start
the,
my video. Okay, it was working. Okay, good.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. Yeah, lovely.
I was just saying, Mike, we're just waiting just another minute or so whilst we just get a few more people joining us. People are just coming in all the time at the moment.
Oh.
And then I'll hand over to Claire and Ollie to present.
Right. I just need to let my husband in. Hold a second.
Who's the host today?
So we're going to have Claire and Ollie are going to be presenting for us this morning.
And is Ollie, is he in charge? Is he the host, the actual Zoom host?
No, I'm the actual Zoom host, but okay. I've got Claire and Ollie are co-hosting, so they'll be the ones chatting to you.
The other day, if you can use, as the host, you can use Alt-M and you can mute everybody at the same time, except you.
Now that is a scary amount of power.
There's a little button I've got where I can mute all.
And you can do it as a shortcut, Alt-M.
Ah, very useful. We're learning all these new tricks now on Zoom.
Yeah, we are.
There's Nas.
Oh.
Anyway, there we are.
Okay, I think it's a couple of minutes past 9, so we've got quite a few people that have already joined us, so I think we're going to start the session now. So, good morning, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Sue Llewellyn and I'm the business manager at Haywards Heath Business Association. So welcome to our second Zoom meeting this morning. Just to run through a couple of things with you. You'll have noticed when you first came in on the meeting that people were on mute. Now this is just to reduce the background noise. So in a minute when I actually hand over to Ollie to start presenting, if everybody can just make sure that they are on mute. This just helps with the background noise when we've got somebody speaking. We're going to hear from Ollie first of all, and then Claire will present afterwards, and there will be a chance to ask questions after both of the presentations. So with that, I just want to say a huge thanks to Ollie and to Claire for presenting for the association this morning. And now I'll hand over to yourself, Ollie.
Right, good morning everybody. Thanks for tuning in. First of all, for anybody who doesn't know me yet, I'm Ollie Lashley. I run Pure Storm Digital Services, and we kind of deal with a lot of digital marketing, web design, a whole host of sort of digital areas. Now, obviously, this is kind of an unprecedented time for us all. I'm sure that's kind of been the buzzwords of the time, and you don't need me to tell you that. I'm sure you're all very much aware. But I think one of the key things for me that has come out of this is that, and you can almost take a little bit of comfort out of this, is that we're all in this together. This has never happened for anybody before on this scale. So take a little bit of solace and breathe. And because I know a lot of people have been coming to me and panicking that actually, you know what, nobody really knows what's going on at the moment. So we can all just work it out together. And that's kind of what I'm hopefully going to get across to you all today, is that just by doing bits and pieces, you know, you're already ahead of the curve, and we're already going to be sort of working towards business as usual again. So yeah, that's kind of my top tip that I've kind of been having to say again and again to people is, look, stop panicking, just take a second and realize actually, if you're a particularly optimistic person, this could actually be seen as an advantageous situation in terms of marketing and other background administrative tasks that you perhaps put off for a while. I know I certainly have been doing bits and pieces that, you know, you do prioritize the more critical problems in the business and solve those first. But this is a great time to kind of reflect and really drive forward so you're stronger than ever when we do get back to business as usual. So I just wanted to start with that kind of message of try to see it as a positive side. And it's a good time to be able to pad out that marketing calendar. Obviously, we haven't got dates yet for when it's all going to be back to normal. And I think that is a key stress point for a lot of people. And therefore, I think if you can just prepare as much as possible and create as much collateral as you can, then you're going to be better prepared for when we do get back to business as usual and that influx of business comes back. So go through the calendar. That would be my first thing to say. Anything that any of your usual channels and methods that you use to get out to your clients, still use those and go through your calendar and look at exactly when key dates, both for everybody, so that's seasonal, and also that are specific to your company and audience. You know, don't stop celebrating those wins on how many years you've been around for, or whatever it might be, new members of staff and their work anniversaries. Mark those out against the rest of the period you're planning for, because ultimately authenticity is key at the moment. And now more than ever, I certainly notice a sense of community, and I'm sure you all do too online, is that because everybody's been driven online, that's now where we're all focusing, and we're all spending that little bit of extra time sort of checking in on people that we'd normally be meeting monthly at networking, or, you know, going to visit for a coffee. Now you're taking that extra second to kind of go and see what they're up to on their website, or what their blog's saying, or what their social media is saying. So just take a moment and realize that actually people want to hear from you, and that it's okay to still celebrate those wins. And I think a lot of people have also kind of fallen into the trap of particularly customer-facing roles, and companies have thought, well, I can't sell to anybody at the moment. I'm a storefront, I'm a restaurant, whatever it might be. So we're just going to completely shut down. Now, while I can understand that position, I think, you know what, it's better to be marketing. You know, many companies are going to go into the lockdown, but if you're the one that isn't, people are going to be following your journey, and they're going to be resonating with anything you put out, so that when this does finish eventually, which it will, you'll be ready to say, you didn't forget us. You came along for the journey. We rode this out together. We're still here, and you know exactly what we're all about. So I think that's so important, is don't stop marketing. Don't stop putting out the updates. Yes, contextually, you might have to reword them slightly just to make sure that they're sensitive to the times. But again, be positive. Very easy to say. But I think whether you email market, whether you social media, whether you do web blogs, make sure that you're still getting those regular communications out, because these are your main channels of communications with people now. You know, you haven't got the opportunity to go into their office and see how they're doing. So make sure that you are still publishing. But then I also get the question of, what do we post though? Because surely in this time you can't be as usual with your posting. You can't talk about things. And again, that's when I'd say celebrate those wins. And also, current data and reports are all saying that this is the time people have been engaging with posts and engaging with other people way more than ever before. And I know Claire's going to cover it in a little bit, but one of the most authentic and personal ways you can do that is by sharing video updates and letting people know from a personal perspective how it's affecting the business, how you guys are getting on, how you're coping. Even if it's a slightly fun little, well, we've had to adapt and the office is here today, or, you know, working with children. I've seen plenty of quite funny sort of responses to working from home. And those kinds of things are going to, you know, they're going to reflect so well on you as a company, I think particularly because people are going to resonate with that and are going to understand that, hey, they're actually doing exactly what I'm doing at the moment. We're all having to deal with this. And again, no one knows how to deal with this. So it's just making sure that we do it all together and that we can, where possible, support each other. You know, I think handy tips and tricks as well that you can distribute are really, really useful at the moment as well, because again, I've seen it a lot of the time, and that's kind of what we're trying to do with this, these Meet the Experts as well, is just give people a bit of comfort. If you can give people that reassurance, you know, on your social media, on your website, on your emails, that is going to, again, people remember that. You know, I'm certainly going to remember, you know, Gary's one from the other week when he was saying just what's out there at the moment and the options that are about. And financially, from that side of things, people are going to remember those. If you've gone out of your way to say, look, this is not the most ideal situation, but we can help each other here. This is what we know, you know, and we can give that to you. People are going to be very receptive to that. In fact, we're kind of producing a bit of we racking our brains as to how do we actually help people at the moment. So we've kind of come up with a bit of a marketing care package that we hope will help people kind of take control and feel comfortable with marketing their business, and just, you know, trying to navigate that minefield, because when you've had an office and you've got 10, even 2, 3, 4 people around you to bounce ideas off of, talk to, that's so much easier than when you're sat isolated on your own on your kitchen table thinking, okay, well, what do we talk about now? So we hope that that's going to be able to help people. So definitely please do keep in touch if you'd like access to that. But I think planning for business as usual really cannot be understated right now, or overstated. So while no dates are coming out, it is so important to make sure that you are prepared for that, so that you have a backlog of content that you know you can put out and is ready, that you can then concentrate on working on the business and actually getting back to that business as usual. Because we all know once that influx starts again, it's going to be very, very hard to maintain the marketing, and you're going to fall back into the trap of that becomes lower and lower down the priority list. So why can't we make sure that we update people now and create that backlog that just saves you time and saves you effort later on, you know? And I think that is where I really would stress, is that this is a time to plan and a time to create all of that collateral. If you are particularly a small business, 1 or 2 people, and you don't have a marketing team, or if they've had to, you know, go furlough, whatever it might be, if you can kind of start producing that, it's going to help clear your mind, but also just make things a little bit easier in the long run. And again, being authentic and personal has never been so important, you know, in public facing communications. So one of the best ways to do that is through the video content, and letting people know that if what things are going on in your life. And so that kind of is somewhere that I would focus, and it kind of leads me smoothly into sort of introducing Claire, who I think is going to talk a little bit on the subject as well, about creating video content, you know. And so I'm now going to hand over to Claire, and I'm just going to unmute you. Oh, you're already
I'm unmuted.
Perfect. So if you want to just take over,
Yep.
And let us know about your side.
Brilliant. Okay, thanks, Ollie. Okay, so I'm first bits of housekeeping is my family could walk in at any point, and I'm beyond apologising now. They're likely to be in their pajamas. It is only 9:15. So oh, hi Zena, I can see you properly now. Fabulous. Right. This presentation I did do a couple of weeks ago. So if there's anyone that has seen it already and doesn't want to stay here, like Nath, I know you saw it because your fire alarm went off. So if you don't, please don't feel you have to sit through it again, because this is, you know, you've already seen it. Now I'm going to share a screen with you and go through some slides, and I will just check that everyone can see it correctly from the way their screen is presented. Can everybody see that okay with the way that they've got their screen? I can't see everybody actually, so great, you can, good. I'll try and put it to one side because I don't know what screen it records actually, if it's mine or Sue's. Okay, so let me just try and get this out of the way. I can't really see many people, okay, so unmute yourself if you need to shout at any time. Okay, this is a very brief, quick whistle-stop tour on how to get you set up to start recording your own videos. This is a massive area, so I've just snapshotted this little bit. Okay, so I'm going to run through equipment first. I have got an equipment list that I can send out through this, but I couldn't find it. So at the end, I might have to just find out where I can share the file. And I've got all the email links to all this equipment that's here. Now, this equipment, I know the mics, I don't think you can get on Amazon. I think there's a waiting list. So it might be that you want to go and have a look at park cameras and see if you can source some of this a little bit closer to home. So the first bit of equipment that I recommend, can everyone see the cursor that I'm, or is it just me? You can, good. This is a ring light. This is quite cheap. I think it's under 30 quid. It could even be under 25 quid. The prices are changing massively because the demand is going up. This is a great little device, and this little clip here, you put your phone in, and it releases to take any size of phone, and this piece of equipment fits in the middle of this light here, so you can put your phone, and I thoroughly recommend you use your phone to film yourself rather than a laptop. I've found that generally the quality of phones is better than laptops, but do a little test and measure and check that which one is better. I personally prefer, again, using your phone because you can actually change the height of it much more easily. So if you're looking, this is a laptop view, you can see of me, if you can see my image at the moment, it's actually coming from quite low down. What I would do is actually take the shot slightly higher, and that's a bit harder to do when you've got a laptop. It's a bit easier with, you've got things like tripods for your phone. Now, the best bit of equipment in this particular setup here is this remote control. It's got the two little cameras on it. This helps you to get a nice, neat start and finish to your video if you are looking to do low to no editing. You can literally just start it and then stop it, which is great for your, if you don't want to do any post-production to it. Okay, the next thing I recommend is a little tripod. Now, this is cheap as chips. Okay, this is definitely called a lockdown tripod because it is very plasticky and it's not particularly strong. I can't remember the price of this. Again, I think it's under 30 quid. So and what this will do is allows you a bit more flexibility about where you film. And if you want to do something in the garden or in your lounge, you can do this from the floor, whereas the ring light is more a tabletop kind of a setup. Okay. Oh, how do I go back? Hold on, excuse me. Let me just go. This is the first screen I managed to go to miss. This is a microphone. It's a Rode microphone. These have annoyingly gone up about 20 quid when you want to buy one of these, because obviously the demand has gone up great. It's a fabulous bit of kit. It's literally just plug and play. You literally put it in the port of your phone, and it works straight away. Do tests when you do come to film, just to check that your sound is working. It's the best piece of equipment that's the easiest to use for the best results, but it's not the best piece of equipment. The best piece of equipment would be proper lapel mics. But if you are looking to set yourself up in a small studio in your office, this I can thoroughly recommend. Okay, I do have to say here, if you order through any of this stuff through Amazon, do it through Amazon Smile, and then you can actually make a charity donation. So there are lots of HHBA charities. There's probably St. Peter's St. James, there's Kangaroos. If you want to support somebody and you want a name, then ask Sue for any of our HHBA, and they get literally a few pence. It's not much, but it just means you're helping out a charity at this time as well. Oh, no. Come on. Excuse me, just bear with me whilst there we go. Okay, so these are now top tips on how to set yourself up to get the best shot you can under the current circumstances, which is, you've got to put perfection to one side, and luckily no one is expecting perfection, but this is the best time to start filming and actually get to grips and do lots of practice, because everyone's happy to, you know, the fact that your kids are in the background, you might be not particularly polished, because we're all in the same boat. So here, there's a few little things you can do which just take you from amateur video up to the most professional you can see. Is somebody on admitting the people to the meeting? Ollie, are you on that? And Sue? Yeah. make sure you have your light source in front of you. So I'm sitting in my dining room here and I've got the light in front of me. It is a little bit bright because this camera is a bit rubbish on my laptop. So therefore, if you have the light behind you, your face is going to go plunge into darkness and you won't be able to see yourself so well. So check what the light's doing outside. It's been quite bright and sunny. So you need to have a little think about where in your house, and this is where things start getting difficult, because it might be that where the perfect light is your kid's bedroom and that's not appropriate or something like that. So you're going to have to go around your house, maybe even go in the garden and see what you can do. A cloudy day is probably the best for light consistency. Check your background. So for example, where I've got me now, there's so much going on. You might find that when you do a video, your viewers are going to spend more time looking at my dresser there or the photos on my fridge. So you really want to try and get that good background balance between it not too busy, that people are distracted, but looks authentically work. And again, that is very hard to do in this particular environment. When you are back to your proper place of work or your office, you'll probably find a better places for you to actually set your camera up. Okay, I've mentioned this already. Your camera should really be up to your eye line, so that you're not getting any of looking down people's nostrils or looking down like this. So try and get the camera to your eye line. So therefore, you're looking most engagingly at whoever's watching the video. And again, it's just tiny little marginal gains, really. I actually haven't mentioned anything about framing on this. This is one thing that I see a lot, is if you end up, this is an exaggeration, but if you end up doing this and you have too much space between the top of your head and the top of the frame, if you do something like go and add subtitles, the subtitles are going to appear here. So it's going to actually cover your face up. So make sure you've got a clear amount of space from your chin to the bottom, and also have your head more to the top of the frame than you would probably automatically do. Do check your equipment before you do any recording. So say if you go and do like a month's worth of videos in one sitting, and you go back and there was a problem, you're going to have to do it all again. So do be careful about testing. When you're filming with your camera and your phone, you really need to check where your camera is, because if you are doing it this way, excuse my shocking state of my camera screen, you can't really see where the camera is. And the problem with that is I'm now talking to my own picture here, so I'm not looking into the lens of the camera. You need to find out where your lens is, so you look directly to the lens, so therefore you're talking and engaging directly with whoever it is that you're watching. Now on a phone, you need to work out where that is, and I would put a marker by it. So my camera here is here. And then to make sure, you can also actually put a post-it note on your phone to stop you from actually being distracted by your own image and looking at yourself or looking elsewhere. So, and again, that's another tiny little tip, which I do see in a lot of people's videos. They're just not engaging with the audience. They're looking slightly off screen, and it just makes it a little bit more amateurish. It's all marginal gains. It's a bit harder to see with me, or sorry, I could change the screen, but try and see both ears at the same time. Excuse the dog. If you can see both ears at the same time, then you've probably got a little tip, is that you've probably got quite good framing. Excuse the dog.
Claire, can I just ask a question?
Sure.
Did you say put the light behind you or the light behind the camera?
You need the light needs to be behind the camera, shining onto your face.
Right.
Apologies for not making that clear.
Thank you.
Thank you for checking with me, Helen. That's great. Okay, so in terms of how to make a better film in terms of performance, I'm going to just run through some very quick tips here. And this, again, is what's going to make you more watchable. Videos become incredibly competitive now. Loads of people are putting stuff out there, and now you do have to be as good as you absolutely can be. So there's lots of things you can do in terms of actually becoming more interesting in your performance. So I'll run through these tips very quickly here. You can vary the speed with which you talk. and that adds, and all these things, they add colour to the way that you sound. And it's more likely that after a minute or so, people will still be listening and understanding what it is that you're saying. You can use things like pauses in your conversation as well, so you can really make a dramatic sentence. You can change the pitch and tone as well. Volume can be really important. And the hard thing is actually projecting yourself. You really need to act, and you need to feel like you are outside your comfort zone. If you're outside your comfort zone, that's probably where you need to be. You need to understand what it is that you're saying. You've got to work out how long your video needs to be, and that's a whole different 20-minute workshop practically. If you keep it simple, it's always what I suggest. So if you're going to start dabbling and entry level here, look at videos that are under a minute and understand what it is that you want to say. If you are more passionate about what it is that you're saying, the better the video will be. So maybe to start with, stick to subjects that you are really knowledgeable about and know a lot and actually feel quite deeply. And therefore, the way you talk about it will be just far more interesting just by nature. And if you're worried at all about putting videos out and you're lacking in confidence, the best thing you can do is practice a lot. So just set your camera up. You don't even have to worry too much about all the variables like the light, sound and everything. Just have a practice. Don't worry about the way you look. Just have a practice. Watch it through. Give it, obviously you haven't got many people to ask in your household at the moment. So get somebody, if you can, to have a little look at it and criticize it in a nice way that, you know, just don't tell me it's amazing. I actually want to know how it could be better. And equally, don't slate it and tell me that's rubbish either, because otherwise that will just put you off and you won't want to do any more filming. But practice, practice, practice. And the great thing about the video with your camera is you delete it. If you don't like it, delete it, start again. Okay. I think, was that it so far? So I'm just going to very quickly mention, because these are slides are here already. In lockdown, I can't go out and film, but I can help you with your editing onwards, because that can be quite tricky. And I can help people with coaching through how you can improve your performance as well. These are my Facebook and LinkedIn sites. If anyone would like to give me a follow, I do have that list of equipment to share with you, and also I do have a planner, some planning documents as well, which are very basic, but they touched upon some of the things that Ollie mentioned, and I'm happy to send those out if I can work it out now, how to do it now. So that is it.
Great. All right, thank you very much.
I'll stop sharing that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm now going to open up my screen, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take everybody through some of the norms when uploading videos onto, say, social media profiles, and just what to expect, so you're not sort of left scratching your head afterwards. So if I just...
Sorry, I wasn't able to answer any of those questions that came through. Lynn, could you see me in that? Cool.
Yes,
Lynn?
I worked out how I could see you, so thank you.
That's okay, good, you're okay, that's brilliant.
Yes, so I'll take you through that, and then what we'll do is we'll open it up and have a bit of a forum, because again, I think like Claire touched on as well, this is quite a personal thing for everybody, so it's, in terms of the questions you may have, might be quite sort of different and varying, so we won't be able to answer everything during these short presentations, but please do, like Claire said, get in touch on our social media or ask the questions once we've finished this. So if I just open up sharing with you, and we're going to jump into... So you're now seeing behind the curtain of the Hayward Heath Business Association. So once you've expertly captured your video and it's ready to go out, what you're going to do is very similar to how you write any other post. You can click photo and video here. Now, one of the great things about this, now let's see if I can find a nice video to go out.
Now you can actually edit your video in Facebook as well. Yes, yeah, which is another fantastic thing. Let me just see where I've got a nice video ready to go. I did have one ready. So okay, so let's go with the screen recording.
this. And what we're going to do is we're going to open this up in Publishing Tools. So from here, this allows us to both just schedule things up within Facebook, but also get a little bit further in terms of where we want to put things. So we're going to create a photo or video. It does like you to go through the same processes again and again, but that's fine. We're going to go into here. And you can now see the main video screen. So this is obviously where you put your title, as well as your description. Now, one of the biggest things about posting video, it's for a long time now been the most sort of engaged with method of posting anything on social media. I think the usual stats before sort of we all went into lockdown were they see about 93% more engagement than a standard text post. I've seen some stats saying that it's up to even 97% at the moment, and even higher. So it's definitely a way to go if you're looking to try things out. And if you're not comfortable on camera yourself, you know, you can do something like what we've got in the video here, which is just a screen recording. So if, say, the services you give might be IT, you can give these, or even a walkthrough like this, you can quite easily set up screen recording in most laptops, computers.
It's iMovie, isn't there?
Yeah, so I think the keyboard shortcut is Function Command 5 on a Mac. So I'm not sure what the laptop version is, but that basically gives you then a screen, a border that you can set and set up a screen recording there. And you can add subtitles to it afterwards if you like as well, or audio if you're comfortable with that. But definitely don't, I think the message is give it a go. You know, we've both said it, is that everybody's trying new things out now. So don't feel embarrassed, don't feel uncomfortable. This is the time to try it. And like Claire said, if you're not happy with it, you can delete it and start again. I've done that many times, but so what you'd do is you'd fill out here, and another great thing that you can add as well is tags. So you can actually help people who are searching within Facebook search, because another report that's come out has said that people are actually using the search bar in Facebook almost as frequently as they are using Google to find companies at the moment, because everybody usually scrolls through Facebook. You know, there's a reason why over 1 billion people use it. And it's a way of verifying and pre-qualifying companies now, as if they have a Facebook page that's regularly updated. So adding keywords that relate to your business, for example, you know, we'd have things like networking, for example, and you can add the new tags here. There are some pre-created tags that you can use as well, which tend to get a bit more traction. So business news, for example, local and small businesses as well. They're great tags that you can slot in there. As well as then putting hashtags within your descriptions as well. Never shy away from that. I would say avoid putting any more than 7 across any description. I think a general rule of thumb that we try to follow is a couple within the text as part of the statements and the structure, and then no more than 3, say, tailing the bottom of the post, just because then you have the potential to lose people's interest if they're trying to scroll through reams of hashtags. And also there's with all of the social media profiles or platforms, they're currently getting a bit smarter to people trying to latch on to hashtags, as it were. So you may have seen people that have nothing to do with, say, let's go with street food, for example, the topic of the video. They may put an Instagram post out about a dish that they're promoting, but then they have absolutely nothing in the hashtags to do with that, and they're putting, you know, completely irrelevant. Instagram will find that, Facebook will find that now, so it will register you as spam, and it will make sure that not too many people see the post. Once you've done that, you've then got the option. So let's just fill in a title here. So we're going to call this test video, and this is a test. And then we're going to head over to publishing options. Now, one of the things you can do here is you can either publish it straight away, or something that's a really great feature that's come out in the not too recent past was Premiere. So you can actually set a date and a time for this to go out across your channel. And what it will do is it'll actually let your followers know you've got a video scheduled for this time. A post will be released straight away. And there's a little box, a video box placeholder ready to go with a countdown clock that says when it's going live. And then you can actually track who is watching it in real time the first time it gets out. It's a great feature because it's just another ping on someone's phone to let them know that you've got this video being created. And And then you've got these features down here. Most of the time, I would say leave these just ticked. You know, displaying in watch is great because it means that people are, if they're going through their watch, they're just going to automatically roll onto your video. And then allow a bit embedding as well, allows people to embed it within posts. And you can embed it actually within your own Facebook posts. The only other thing I would say about that is when you're in this sort of the design stage, think about the thumbnail. So that's when, before you press play on a video, what shows behind that. Definitely, if you can create an image, or you find a nice screenshot within the video that you think translates the message well, definitely put that in, or take a moment to open up Paint or even Word. You can create an image within now that just has maybe your logo and the title of the video within it as well. It's a really great way of just making it look that bit more professional. Subtitles and captions as well. I'm in Safari, so that's an important thing to note, is you cannot use the captions tool within Safari, but in things like Google Chrome, it's a nice way of putting in the subtitles pretty easily. So if you've written a script up, it can normally be translated. And like Claire said, if it's under a minute, it doesn't take too long to transcribe that and put it up into subtitles. I would also, just on the point of subtitles, say that it's one of the best ways to encapsulate people, because most videos on Facebook are watched without sound. You may have seen it as you scroll through your Facebook. When you see a video, it will start playing automatically if you've got the setting on, which I think by default it now does, but it won't play the sound until you click on it. So if you can have subtitles rolling underneath that is getting people interested, they're more likely to then click through. And then you've got polls as well, which are quite fun little ways to engage with your audience. If you're asking questions within the video, or you're showcasing a particular product of yours, and you say, you know, and comparing the two, for example, which do you prefer, or which would you like the look of? They're also great ways of just building that engagement. And again, that community is being sort of formed a little bit stronger. So that's how to in a very sort of whistle-stop sense, schedule up a video to Facebook. You've then got Twitter as well, which is very, very straightforward in that on the main screen, you've then got tweet.
Ollie, can I just check with you? Can you, once you've got that there, can you export that video out and then put it in other places as maybe an MP4 file or a video file? When
you've got it in where, sorry, in Facebook?
In Facebook, yeah.
So if it was a native post and you could download that as for example.
Yeah, so then you can post it in other places?
Well, you could, I believe there is a function to do that. As you saw when I tried to open up the video editor, it did want a video that was already stored in your computer. So you should just be able to get it from the computer yourself.
What I'm thinking here is once you've got a video that you've edited in Facebook,
sure,
can it be used in other places? Otherwise you have to go into YouTube, do it all again there, or into other places. You really want a file you can take out and then...
Yeah, that's quite a good... I will have to give you an update on that, because that's not something I've ever had to do, because we tend to, if I've ever done any videos, we've done it pre-putting it into Facebook. It's never something that I've come across, but I can definitely look that up, and we'll put that in sort of any links and the transcript that we put out for the video after as well. So check back on that, and I'll have an answer in there. But yes, so for what was that? Sorry.
So I mean, you can create something in iMovie, for example, and that should give you a video, and then you can upload that to Facebook, and that means you can then upload it to YouTube, and then because that's the beauty of if you've got a video file finished, then you've got more versatility with it than if you are doing it all from scratch in each platform, and it just saves you a bit of time and a bit of work. I hope that makes sense to people who aren't questions. If that isn't clear.
I think the message there, is just to make sure that, or if where possible, edit it outside of a social media platform so that you then have the most versatility with it afterwards. But otherwise, I will look into that, and I'll put it in the transcript. I'm
painfully aware that's easily said, and
yes, but extremely,
especially for adding things like subtitles and that sort of thing. So if people have questions, we will attempt to answer them.
Yes, definitely. And one of the good things about YouTube as well, and I know you definitely can extract videos from YouTube. So if you were to start it there, for example, YouTube has auto captions, and it will attempt to hear what you're saying and translate it into script form. So it might be best if it's free to set up a YouTube account, and they have all the tool editing, and they give you a full guide on how to sort of do it as you do it and hold your hand. So if you are considering doing subtitles for videos that you want to reuse, perhaps look there first and use the download from there.
It might be worth pointing out as well that the reason why I'm so going to the point of saying it's best to have a file is because most platforms like a native file these days.
Yes.
They don't like the links. Whereas 2 years ago, you'd put everything into YouTube and just drop a link in. But now Facebook want original content. So therefore, it's better to have the file and locate that in every platform. Because they would. Sorry, yeah.
I was just going to say, and in particular LinkedIn, they are very, very strict on gatekeeping. Any kind of post that has a link to a different website. For example, if you're doing blogs, or if you do have a YouTube channel, placing the link to that blog or to that YouTube channel will directly hinder your post from being seen by more people. So where possible, use the articles section of LinkedIn or upload the video itself. And Facebook is going the same way. It's not quite as strict. And Twitter has never really supported direct linking as it is, and linking to other websites. So just be careful when you're doing that. You certainly can do it, and you may still see some engagement, but if you are looking to help yourself as much as possible, that would be my recommendation, would be to avoid, say, putting in hhba.co.uk/video and allowing, or whatever the URL might be, and allowing people to just click through, because it may actually not be shown to that many people. But yeah, so I'll just quickly run through. With Twitter, it's very simple. You just click the little mountain button there and select the video, and it will just buffer, and it will tell you when it's ready to tweet. You add your own information. Again, hashtags started mainly on Twitter and with a big format on there for a while. But again, any more than 7, and it starts to it becomes difficult for a lot of people to read as well. People don't like to read long chunks of words that are all joined together without spaces. So just be aware of that when creating anything. And then also in LinkedIn, you've got the video icon there. You select a video to share. Again, you just click the video nice and quickly and easily. And the one thing I would say, so you've got the edit tool here, make sure that you rename it so it doesn't come out with just screen recording if it is a screen recording. And also be aware that when it goes out onto LinkedIn, it will actually, it does take a little bit longer, and it does look like it's perhaps not worked the first time through. You'll get a notification up in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen that says the post is ready to view. So don't be tempted to click post, 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 post and do it again, because eventually you will end up having 5 videos posted at once. So just be aware of that on LinkedIn. It is a little bit slower than the other tools. That's my top tip with LinkedIn. Unfortunately, oh yeah, go on, Claire.
Yeah, Charlotte has a question actually. I just think quite pertinent now. So if you've done a video on your phone, I'm assuming in the world of Facebook, it's probably easier to edit this on a PC laptop than it is your phone. I've never tried.
I mean, yeah, it's when you're on desktop, I always feel like you get sort of the zoomed out full view of anything. Yeah. But with the way it's going, they are trying to make it more accessible for, and particularly with influencer marketing on the rise and people making a living off of social media, they are making it more mobile driven. But definitely, where possible, get it on a laptop.
So Charlotte's question. That's what Charlotte's question.
Yeah.
Now, I use file sharing sites, so I put my files from my phone into Dropbox on my phone, and then I share it on my computer. Charlotte, do you have anything like that on any of your devices?
I wouldn't have a clue how to upload the video to Dropbox on my phone. I have used Dropbox and similar, but
it is possible to export the file into other places, so you can actually put it into a cloud-based site. Ollie, I'm correct in saying that?
Yeah. So what I would suggest is, I don't know whether
think of somebody that's a complete total idiot.
Yeah.
So if it's,
I've got the video, and what do I? There's no right-clicking option.
Yes.
So you've got it on your phone, yes, Charlotte.
Yeah.
You're trying to get the phone video from your phone to a computer.
Yeah, just the simplest way to do that. I mean, normally what I do is upload it on my personal site and then copy it from my
Okay.
personal site to my web, which isn't the best.
Yes, Stuart's just suggested attach it to an email. It depends on the size of the file, because if it's an unrendered video that's 3 minutes, you can't email something that big. If it's under 20 seconds, you probably can. So if it's clips of footage, I'm not quite sure where the threshold is actually.
It's normally a couple of megabytes. Actually, it's quite small.
Yeah,
it is quite limited.
it's tiny.
But, what I would suggest is whether your Android, iPhone, whatever it might be, go into your gallery where the video is stored. Usually, they're somewhere on that within that. When you click on the video itself, rather than have it play out in the options that come along the bottom or top, there should be sort of a sharing function. I know with iPhone you have a sort of a square with an arrow pointing out the top of it. From there, what you can do is you can see mail is an option there, definitely, but also you've got the option to share it to things like WhatsApp.
Can you see that on there?
Within, if you can share it to WhatsApp, you can actually download a desktop version of WhatsApp, which you should then be able to access the video from there. That's one workaround I've used before. If you're working with an Apple laptop or Mac as well, you've then got AirDrop as an option, which it will automatically ping it onto any device nearby. There is also
copy to iCloud.
Yes, definitely. You can set up an iCloud account for free, and if you've got an iPhone, you will have one. You can save it to your files there, or copy the link and then get it on your desktop within iCloud.com and pull it onto your desktop from there.
The desktop that works really well. Okay.
I tell you what, Charlotte, we'll hang on afterwards if we need any more.
I'll
clarity then. I'm sure we can help you.
That was my biggest thing, is that I never knew how to get these amazing videos, and then I'm like, I can't put it on my page properly.
And Nas has just said there, the desktop WhatsApp is very, very good. I have it running sort of most of the time, just because it also distracts or stops me from being distracted by everything else on my phone. But
I absolutely loathe WhatsApp on the computer because
really?
I wouldn't get any work done. So but in terms of file transferring,
too popular, clearly.
It's in terms of file transferring small files, you can definitely do it. Right, we have another question from Gary about optimizing videos.
Yes.
Now, this is a really difficult question to answer really easily, because I always think it depends what the purpose of the video is first, and then you need to work out the length. Say, for example, it's one of Kate's yoga videos. Then you're clearly going to want to watch an hour's long yoga session, and I don't think that's up for any debate. If it's going to be a sales and marketing kind of video, then that's a little bit more harder to get correct. Google likes videos under 3 minutes. They've done a lot of research showing how much content gets watched, and basically watching peaks actually probably about 1.5 minutes and then drops off, and anything after 3 minutes and people generally don't watch. I was
just to sort of echo that, Facebook actually, when you try to upload videos, they have their own guidelines, and they say, oh, did you know a video of 3 minutes will get more, because they're trying to keep people on their app, which is why they say that. But definitely the way to grab people is by keeping it as short and sharp as possible if it is just a promotional or marketing video, because subconsciously, if you see a video is 5 minutes long, you've got to be watching for at least 2 minutes to get the gist of it. If you know it's 30 seconds, your brain will equate that to, I've got the time to watch that. That doesn't matter. I can waste time watching that rather than a 6-minute video I have to get invested in. That's how the brain works. It wants things quickly, which is why social media works so well, is that it is so consumer and it's so consumable. So definitely keep it short where possible, but also if you've got long form videos and you've got longer tutorials, absolutely have the full version uploaded, say on a website, and have maybe a few snippets or grabs from it that you can then reshare and say, hey, this is a short 30-second bit from our video. If you want to know more, head to our website to find out. And that's kind of a way of navigating a bit of both. I
always look at it as how interested is the lead in what you are offering. And And I always think it can come down to a value of a purchase as well. If you are going to spend £50,000 on something, you will want to watch information as you possibly can on that purchase. Assuming that we're all doing a video that's going to require a transaction. If it's something that's a fiver, well, you know, you're not as committed. Where you are on the like the sales funnel as to how much people watch. And I think a lot of it can be test and measure. So, for example, the testimonials that I film, I often do two versions: a longer one and then a shorter one. So, a longer one can be that someone you're trying to convert who's already interested, and then a shorter one to get people who are further up the sales funnel and is not as interested. So, it's worth playing around. And then you'll see on your stats and your insights what gets watched more.
It definitely varies industry to industry, I think, because it's depending on what's being watched and what the demand is for it. But that's absolutely the best way to go about it, is actually to check your viewing figures, which again is a relatively simple thing to do, particularly if it's, say, on Facebook. What you can do is you can, when you go to in fact, if I jump open my screen share again, I can just show you quickly in case anybody doesn't know currently. So we've opened up here. So if we head back to the main page, so you're on your company's page. If then you head over on the top bar here, you should have insights. It will either be here or it will be in more if it's not been used very often prior to that. And you can just see from within there. So what it will do is it will come up with everything straight from there, and you'll see exactly which posts and which page view, how many page views you're getting, and you can quite easily track that graph. And on the left-hand side of that page, it even says posts, so you can click exactly on posts and just see which ones are doing well, which ones aren't doing so well. So I think that is also another, in fact, it goes broader than just video, but I would actually recommend keeping an eye on that whilst sort of we're going through this uncertain period, because you may actually see that historically you were getting maybe 5, 10, 20 interactions per post, and now your reach is actually quite a lot further because people have got a bit more time to be scrolling through Facebook, to be checking in on other businesses. So definitely keep an eye on that, because then it also helps you to work out what's worked well for you in the past. My post that's done this, if you're just scattergun posting and you're not really sure which posts respond best, the best way to do it is to see the numbers. Okay, well, people were actually really interested when I put a 30-second video up. When I put a still image and just some text with the information, it didn't get half as many interactions. Facebook makes it quite easy within that insights section of your page to check those sorts of stats.
Got one last question from Kate. I've unmuted you, Kate. Do you want to share it with everybody?
Yeah, I'm sorry if this is a bit random for some of you. I've been using Zoom calls quite a lot. I've had to move all of my classes online, which has been quite a learning curve, I have to say. And I'm still kind of refining some of the technicalities. But basically, I have the advantage of a husband that works in the TV industry that's got bits of kit lying around, thank goodness, because Amazon is, as you said, sort of largely out of stock with everything. We've got like some Sennheiser mics, and actually radio mics, because obviously I need to move. Yeah. So for me, it will be on a wide shot, ideally mic'd up, otherwise I'm quite far away from the laptop. But Zoom is really squashing the audio levels, and basically my really nice, beautifully recorded sound quality is hugely lower than the laptop feeds that are coming through from all of the other people. So when we have a conversation at the beginning, they can't actually hear me. So I don't know, I've looked and looked and looked through Zoom. I don't know whether or not this is just a Zoom thing and it's not designed for this kind of level of kit, or I'm missing a trick somewhere, I don't know.
I don't know what the answer is there, actually.
It may actually be a setting within your computer itself.
Yeah, I did wonder that.
So it might be worth running a test, opening up a Zoom call just by yourself, and opening up the sound settings, because you can normally there's a section where you can see the levels, and you can actually sort of, if any are coming out particularly high versus some that are particularly low, there's often the drag and drop options just to raise and lower levels, and just play with it until.
But I mean, I think you're right in the sense that people aren't expecting perfection. But at the same time, you know, I feel like it could be better, and it's quite, you know, my industry, as it were, if yoga is such a thing, has been flooded with online content recently, and people are expecting things to stand out. So I'm trying to kind of find ways to do that.
Do you know where I would possibly suggest you go, Kate, is to YouTube, and try and get a following of subscribers there, because everyone's giving it away for free at the moment. I know. Which is an absolute bugger, quite frankly.
It's astonishing. It's like, I mean, literally, as soon as this happened, all the yoga teachers in the area started just giving their content away.
I know, which is totally devalued it. Yeah. So I would try maybe looking at getting your subscribers up on your YouTube channel. The problem is you're going to need 10,000 subscribers before you can start getting paid from it.
Yeah, I know.
And the amount you actually get paid is quite minimal until you are bringing in the hundreds of thousands.
Well, I mean, in terms of just as sort of anecdotally, I found quite a lot of loyalty from my students, actually. They're quite grateful to the fact that the online classes, the live classes still exist for them with a teacher that they know who talks to them and modifies the class for them. So I'm kind of deliberately stepping back from YouTube at the moment to make that distinction between the live personalised classes.
What you could do is actually then direct people from YouTube to your classes. So don't give any content away for it free on your YouTube channel, but try and get your subscribers up to point that these are my paid classes. They are personal classes you know, and you've got that relationship with. Because you've got to try and, as you've already said, you don't want to have to start doing naked yoga just in order to get blood.
Do it, God forbid.
I have to say, I think you'd be great at that, but
I kind of do, but it's not going to happen.
No, exactly. And you don't want to have to, I think it's about, you're in a hard industry, but I think if you could get your followers and your loyalty, as you've said, just work on them and keeping them with you. I think.
I mean, I think people, the reality is the teachers that went really, really quickly to offer free content, they're going to regret it, because we could be in this position for half a year, and I mean, Sainsbury's don't give out free food to the people who have started offering their services for free. So I can't see how that's going to be sustainable in the long term. Sorry, my son just trying to plug my laptop for me.
Exactly, not unless you're Joe Wicks and then get moved to Channel 4. So I think you have to, I think that was the gut reaction that lots of freelancers had to start off with, but now you'll see it come back in, and I think it's rightly so. It's not going to help the economy if we give away everything for free.
Exactly.
No, of course.
Hey, Sam Robbins at Sussex Zest is a good person to follow. So she does do some yoga, but it's mainly keep fit and personal training.
Yeah, I know her.
And she hasn't given away anything for free, so she's quite a good person to follow just to see what she's doing.
Yeah, I mean, basically what I've talked about is I'm offering the classes for less. I don't know, sweetheart, wait till. I'm offering the classes for less money, because obviously what I'm not doing is providing mats and equipment and kit, and I'm not providing the solace from normal life that people get by going to a yoga space and practicing without children around. But I've made it clear that it's my time and my energy and my effort, and I still expect there to be some compensation, unless people are really struggling with the financial climate and they're out of work, in which case I'll look at that in a completely different way. So I'm trying to meet people, I'm trying to give a little, meet people in a reasonable way, but still make it clear that there's still a value to what I'm doing, and I expect that to be appreciated.
I definitely agree. I concur.
Claire?
Oh, yes.
Oh, hello there. Firstly, thank you so much for this. This is really, really helpful. I've never done a video before. Talking about Zoom, I've had Zoom chats with friends. We've now moved to an online book club, because obviously we can't meet up. As a vineyard, would Zoom be a good way to do a video to upload, or is it better to do the method that you both were talking about earlier?
I would recommend, well, firstly, you're going to need an internet connection on your vineyard if you were going to take your laptop out to film it. So that could be a limiting step there.
Okay.
But with your phone, I would recommend you use your phone and do short clips, and just do tiny little clips frequently. This is a beautiful time. It's gorgeous. It's spring. Your vineyard must be looking gorgeous. So I think you can do lots of tiny little clips. Okay. With you talking in the background, and that would be like literally stop and start. Don't do anything more. Visual, really visual.
Definitely,
So,
and if to supplement the visual as well, one thing I just wanted to bring up before we kind of finish off as well is if you haven't currently got any kind of scheduling tool set up to help with your social media, definitely look into that as well, because they often actually allow you to upload videos as well if they're short enough. So buffer.com or Hootsuite are kind of the two main free ones. They've hidden their free versions, but you can still get to them. If you head up on the right hand side, I think on both websites they have try now for X number of days. Once you've gone through that, they then ask you to put in your billing info, but if you just say skip for now, it then dumps you into the free version and says, okay, then well, you can have access to this, and then we'll revert you to the free plan afterwards. So definitely look at getting into those, because what you can do then is you can start building that plan for yourself, and you can say, right, I've got a video going out on Friday, so on Thursday evening I'm going to put something out that says, hey, check in tomorrow for this. Or after the video's gone out, if it's, say, a live video on Facebook, say, walking around or you giving a bit of to camera information, you can then say afterwards, and you know you've got a post on the Friday evening saying, did you miss this? Here's where to go to find it. And it means that you save yourself a lot of time in the long run. If you sit and do a Sunday afternoon of scheduling up a couple of posts here and there, and that's it, you know, where I would recommend at the moment looking. It's you know, once it's back to normal, they're quite limited tools, or they're rather limited, in fact, when it's sort of business as usual. But for these sorts of situations, they can be a real godsend.
So a Buffer and, do you say Hootsuite, are they just scheduling tools?
Yes. So what they allow you to do is schedule up onto Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or up to 3 profiles on either of them at the same time. So you could write a Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter post all in one go. Again, it's good to diversify the content a little bit, because some formats, you know, Twitter obviously is a lot shorter character length, LinkedIn likes a little longer, but generally it means that you can kind of put the same bulk content together, you know, and whilst I wouldn't generally advocate using them too often when it's sort of standard practice, at this sort of time, when you've got a bit more time, say, to do that, then definitely look into it.
Right, I'm conscious that we are coming up to the hour actually, and we've probably been wanging on long enough for about it could be a bit brainful. You know, Ollie and I are at the end of an email. I'll put my email down if anybody wants to contact me.
Yeah, and absolutely,
directly.
And please do, and equally let me know if any of you are interested in the care package that we're going to be getting out. Follow us on social media as well, or drop me an email. Which will all be.
What's your email, Ollie?
I'll stick
write
it in I'll stick it in the bottom here.
You can
get
it
to
in
me
the chat.
here. And this.
And Claire, are you going to send the lovely presentation? It was really clear and concise.
Yeah, I can send. Is that everybody want that, or just you? Don't worry if you don't want it. I'll send it to you. I've got your email. I'll also send you the links as well to the.
Fabulous. Thank you.
No worries.
That's great. Well, thanks, Oliver and Claire, for today, for presenting. Some really useful tips there.